Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everybody. Alhamdulillah, hari ini from Prihatin TV, we're going to have a webinar menggilak permata SPM, especially meant for pelajar-pelajar di Kuala Nerus lah. InsyaAllah sesi kita pada hari ini akan dilaksanakan dalam dua bahasa supaya memberi manfaat kepada semua. Jadi saya dah introduce diri saya tadi, saya Mazita Abdul Ghani, SSC Plus from Bahasa PPD KN, PPD Kuala Nerus yang akan jadi moderator pada hari ini untuk membantu kelancaran webinar kita pada hari ini. And not forgetting, bersama-sama kita pada hari ini saya nak introduce Cikgu Saidi Azhar, orang from USTP, orang kuat kita pada hari ini. Dan Alhamdulillah pada pagi ini bersama-sama kita a very special presenter, our very own Cikgu Mahiran Muhammad Noor from SMK Kompleks Gombada. She is also a very experienced English teacher, Ketua panel AKRAM JPNT. Jadi Alhamdulillah bersama-sama kita pada hari ini seorang yang sangat-sangat berpengalaman, especially dalam mengendalikan subjek Bahasa Inggeris SPM. Jadi untuk pelajar-pelajar di luar sana, especially students from Kuala Nerus yang akan menghadapi SPM pada tahun ini, this is your golden chance to have a sharing session with someone who is very knowledgeable and experienced. So don't lose this golden opportunity. Okay, jadi daripada saya itu saja insyaAllah. Selepas ini saya akan serahkan program ini kepada Cikgu Mahiran, dan sebelum itu jangan lupa Cikgu Saidi, our next, subscribe dan like Prihatin TV, sebab selepas ini kita akan ada banyak lagi siri webinar SPM untuk subjek lain menerusi Prihatin TV Pejabat Pendidikan Kuala Nerus. Jadi without further ado, I think I'm gonna pass to you, Kak Mahiran. Yes, and also a gentle reminder, siapa-siapa yang ada soalan, you can always share your question in the live chat, and we're going to entertain your questions insyaAllah by the end of our session. Dan tengok keadaan lah, kalau kita rasa soalan tu perlu sangat ke macam mana, we'll see how it goes. But insyaAllah kita akan entertain semua soalan by the end of the session, because we are hoping that Cikgu Mahiran kita boleh share as much as possible the information to our students, supaya student yang dengar hari ini, especially students yang akan ambil SPM tahun ini, boleh dapat manfaat yang sepatutnya lah untuk menghadapi your English paper soon. Okay, Kak Ran, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Mazita Abdul Ghani, our SIC Plus at PPD Kuala Nerus. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As introduced just now, I'm Madam Mahiran, Muhammad Noor from SMK Kompleks Gombada. Okay, and hi everyone. As you can see, our webinar today is on SPM English Language 1119, Paper 2, Part 3, specifically the story writing. I will share with you, and I'll show you what a story should look like, so that you know how writing a story is different from writing a report or an article or writing a review. So this is very important for you to fulfill the communicative task of writing a story in part 3, so that you can score high for your CA, the communicative achievement. I hope by this time you've already known what CA and O and L are, the content, the communicative achievement, the organization, and language. The language of these are actually the assessment scale of marking your part 3. Not only part 3, actually all the parts. Okay, but for today I'm going to I'll be mentioning this, C, A, O, and L from time to time, okay, as we go along, right? And one more thing, I'll try to cater for all students of all levels. To cater for students of all levels, because I need to be fair to everyone, because I believe the students who are watching now from all levels, the weak, the average, the advanced. Yeah? Okay, so there might be students who will say, "Oh, this is too difficult for me to understand. Teacher bagi susah sangat, tunjuk yang susah sangat." But I have to be fair to those who are advanced, to improve more. And the same thing with the weak students. Okay, teacher akan bagi sesuatu yang agak mudah, terutama sekali pasal grammar yang selalu pelajar buat banyak salah, banyak salah. Susah nak produce essay without grammatical errors, ya. Okay, so jadi ada part yang mungkin kepada setengah pelajar sangat mudah. Okay, so you have to bear with me lah sepanjang ni. Okay, as we go along, you can stay with me, learn as much as you can. Tengok apa yang you boleh pick up from this sharing, yeah. And as mentioned by Madam Mazita just now, I might take about 2 hours, including the Q&A session, yeah. And all right, I think we can go to the slides. Um, um, Story writing. Paper 2, part 3. Right. Overview. Okay, now, in order for you to, we will take a look at the overview of the whole webinar today, right? So, in order for you to write a story well, you have to be able to apply narrative language in your writing. Okay, what is narrative? Right, so I'll introduce to you if you have not heard or seen the word narrative. Okay, narrative. It comes from the word narrate. Yeah, narrate is menceritakan. Yeah, maybe you've seen the word narration. Yeah, narration is penceritaan. Yeah, so narrative is a story. A narrative is a story. So when I mention the word narrative, it means a story. So we in order for you to write very well, to write a story very well, you have to be able to use narrative language. So what does that mean? All right. So under this, I'll be sharing with you some paragraphs, sample paragraphs. I'm not going to show you how to um, make sentences using adjectives or adverbs and so on and so forth, but I'm going to show you uh, uh, how to use them in sample paragraphs straight away. It's easier that way, so you can see clearly how they are used in paragraphs or in stories. Okay, all right. So adjectives and adverbs. Why are they important? Because in order for you to write a good narrative or good story, you have to have adjectives and adverbs which makes your writing more descriptive. Yeah. Okay. Descriptive ni dia sangat jelas, ya. Gambaran tu sangat jelas when the reader reads your essay, he or she will be able to visualize, boleh dapat gambarkan. Bila sampai tahap boleh dapat gambarkan macam tu, so your essay must be very good. And this is very important, of course, for your CA. Ingat, ini semua ni untuk kita target dekat CA, and also for L lah, automatic, sebab CA ni communicative achievement ni got to do with register the choices of words that you have to know, that you have to use in order to produce a narrative or a story, or in order for you to write a report. Okay, right. So your choices of words will differ when you write a story, right? And when you write a report. So semua tu berbeza mengikut genre penulisan itu. Jenis penulisan itu, ya. So it is very important bila pemeriksa atau cikgu tengok esei kamu sangat jelas, bila kamu tulis cerita, nampak macam cerita, bukan nampak macam report, bukan nampak macam review. So mesti nampak perbezaan tu, baru you punya CA tu tinggi. And at the same time, when you have a lot of words, you have a lot of vocabulary, your vocabulary power tu powerful sangat, okay, so mesti automatically dekat L pun tinggi lah, dekat markah dekat language pun tinggi, because you use a lot of less common lexis, yeah. So that's about adjectives and adverbs. And then I will also be mentioning cohesive devices. So cohesive devices ni macam sebelum ni mungkin you dah belajar, and sebelum ni pun teacher ada pernah buat dalam webinar MP, gerak kerja MP yang Jabatan Pendidikan tu. Teacher ada share about cohesive devices. They are not only connectors, bukan saja connectors, but they are pronouns, ya, macam for example like he, she, semua tu, okay, like who, relative pronoun, who, where, ya. For example, she was the one who won the competition. Budak tu lah yang menang pertandingan tu. Yang, so who here means yang. Di mana, where, okay, so and so forth, right? This is just like brief revision lah, right? And then the nouns itself, kita guna the car, kita boleh ganti dengan the vehicle, ya, kenderaan itu, itu cohesive device juga. Banyak ya, banyak perkataan macam the word that, kita menunjukkan kepada apa yang disebut sebelum tu, what we mentioned before. Okay, so we refer to that thing using the word that. Okay, and of course the connectors, ya. Ni banyak ni, connectors ni banyak hal juga kat sini. Connectors, ada conjunction, banyak-banyak ya, conjunction. So teacher tak akan tulis semua ni lah, it's just a reminder, like for example but, so yang simple-simple tu kita panggil conjunctions. I don't want to confuse you a lot with the terms. So, yang penting you tahu connectors tu linking words. Perkataan the best, I think bahasa Melayu we call it penanda wacana. Okay, penanda wacana. Right, connectors, logical connectors. Kena tahu gunalah. Sebab yang ni untuk cohesive devices ni kita nak score dekat organisation, ya, wajib guna, mesti guna, not only in writing but also in speaking. Speaking pun nak guna juga untuk interaction tu, ya. Dalam speaking tu nak dapat markah tinggi, you have to be able to use a lot of cohesive devices appropriately, ya. Okay, so logical connectors macam mana? Yang biasa tu lah, however, hence, ya, therefore, so and so forth. Okay, so itu sajalah. Okay, and then we have to look at creativity. So kenapa penting dalam narrative, narrative writing or story writing, creativity is important. You have to be creative in your ideas, with your ideas. Kita tak nak cerita kita tu klise. You tahu kan klise, pelajar-pelajar biasa dengar perkataan klise. Klise ni idea-idea ataupun frasa atau benda-benda yang selalu disebut, ya. Dah jadi kebiasaan. Orang dah tak interested lagi dengan benda tu, benda yang sama. So kita tak nak klise, okay? So that kita tak nak, we don't want our writing becomes stereotypical, ya. Stereotypical means asyik sama je. For example, when you ask to write about your personal experience, okay, so maybe many students will write about their experience going to Langkawi, having a vacation with their family, yeah. going to Cameron Highland, asyik-asyik pergi vacation dengan family saja kan. So dia stereotypical ya, dia tak lain daripada orang lain. So tengok kawan pun tulis macam tu, kawan depan pun tulis macam tu. So dia tak menarik. So your essay is not going to be interesting if it's the same with other students' essay, alright? If possible lah, ini teacher kata, okay, if possible kena kreatif lah, ya, kreatif. Jadi lain sikit cerita kita tu. You can write about your vacation to Langkawi with your family, but maybe there were things that happened that made the story more interesting, you know, something that was different rather than, you know, narrating about what you did in the morning and what you did in the afternoon and on the last day what you did, you know, you just went back, you know, that's it. So that's stereotypical. And so have to be creative ya. So kena kreatif. Nak jadi kreatif ni kena banyak membaca. You have to read a lot actually. So tak banyak membaca, tak ada banyak knowledge lah. You don't have a lot of knowledge to write about. Okay, alright. Sentence structure. Okay, sentence structure. I will while going through all the sample essays, I will highlight some sentence structure that is interesting maybe, that is complex or simple. Nak tunjuk kelainan dalam sentence structure lah. Your sentence structure should be varied. Like you have to have simple structure, and then you have compound tu yang macam combine ya, combine ideas, and then complex, and then and the length also, okay, is all about the length of the sentences. There are short sentences, there are long sentences, baru ada effect. Okay, so you actually, a good writer, when they use short sentences and when they use long sentences, there are purposes of doing so. Ya, penulis yang bagus, tujuan dia ada tujuan. Dia bukan tulis short sentences saja-saja. Dia bukan buat long sentences saja-saja. Dia ada tujuan dia. Ya. Okay, and then we have direct speeches. Okay, direct speeches ni bahasa Melayu cakap ajuk. Okay, cakap ajuk. Okay, students always call them dialogue. Dialogue tu benda lain. Dialogue is dialogue macam ni. Madam Mazita, okay, say something. Madam Mahiran, say something else. Okay, alright. So this is a dialogue. But this is not a dialogue. Speeches is cakap ajuk yang ada inverted commas tu. Yang ada kata pengikat tu. Tanda kata pengikat. Okay, you call it in bahasa Melayu, I think. Tanda pengikat kata, something like that. Okay. Alright, and then idiomatic expressions. Yeah. Idiomatic expressions can be proverbs, idioms, maybe phrasal verbs, yeah, like for example, deep down, that is an idiomatic expression too. Kita tulislah sini proverbs ke, right, idioms. But you have to bear in mind when you use proverbs or idioms, you have to use them when you are really confident that you are using them appropriately. Kena betul-betul faham. Sometimes students memorize proverbs and idioms, but they do not know how to use them appropriately in the writing. So the effect is it turned out to be very funny. Bila kita baca macam kelakar lah pula sebab salah. So bila kelakar salah, do you think it makes your story good? No. Ya, markah pun tak bagus lah. Sebab tak tahu guna. So it's not a must for you to use the idioms or proverbs. Ya, idiomatic expressions tak tak wajib. But if you really know and you know how to use them appropriately in your essay, then that will be good lah. Alright, so okay. Right, next, okay. Then only after I share with you all the sample essays, not essays, not actually full essays, yeah, just some paragraphs, right? We'll go into exam tips, ya. So baru masuk kepada teknik menjawab, ya. Teknik menjawab soalan SPM lah. SPM model questions. I will share with you two SPM model questions and then model answers. And I will mention a bit more on vocabulary, on how you can improve your vocabulary. And last one is the grammar. Okay, we'll see how students always make mistakes in writing. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. That's the overview, right? That's the overview. So let's take a look at the first part. Okay, adjectives and adverbs. Okay, why I stress adjectives and adverbs? Okay, because these are the words that make your stories descriptive, which is very helpful. Okay, when your story is descriptive, it is very helpful for you to get high score for your CE actually. All right. And of course, automatically it's good for your language also because you are using, as I mentioned just now, less common lexics a lot. Yeah. Okay. Right. Before we see sample essays, I'll have a brief revision first with you on adjectives and adverbs so that you know what adjectives are and what adverbs are and how to use them in sentences. Just a quick review. Okay, an adjective is a word that modifies a noun. It is a big house. Okay, it is a big house. So big describe the noun, the house. Okay, so the house is the noun, right? So I have made it the word is in bold, yeah. House, noun. Okay, adjective. Sorry. Okay, so big modifies the noun, right? So the scariest villain is Joker. I'm not sure whether you agree with me or not, or you remember who Joker is. Okay, Joker is in Batman. Yeah, Batman. Scariest, right? Scariest villain. So villain is bahasa Melayu is watak jahat ya dalam movie ke apa ke. Alright, so scariest describes villain. Okay, scariest come from the word scary. Okay, so you have to know these two. Okay, scary is the adjective, but as a comparative, when you compare two things or two people, all right, it becomes scarier. Okay, scarier. But if you compare three or more things, right, we call it a superlative. It becomes this. Okay, scariest. So it's still an adjective. Basically, it's an adjective, but in a superlative form. Paling degree paling atas, scariest. Ni pun kena tahu. Uh, right, next. Okay, it can also act as a complement to linking verbs or the verb to be. Okay, so what are linking verbs and what is a verb to be? Right, the boy is happy. So the boy is. So if you don't have the word happy here, so the sentence is not complete. Yeah, if you don't have the word happy, the sentence is not complete. So you are completing, ya, melengkapkan ayat the boy is happy. So happy is the adjective, yeah. And the kitchen smells disgusting. All right, smells is the linking verb, yeah. Smell, there are other words, right? Okay, and disgusting is an adjective describing the kitchen actually, but disgusting complement the kitchen smell, right? If you write the kitchen smells only, the sentence is not complete. So how to complete it? You use the complement disgusting. which is an adjective. Alright, the same thing like the result was. This is be verb. Is ni be verb lah. Kata kerja be. Ya. Kata kerja be. Ni pun kadang-kadang, bukan kadang-kadang lah, ramai pelajar tertinggal ni. Was, is, ya. Is wajib ada untuk guna adjective macam dalam keadaan ayat ni. Ya. Tapi ramai pelajar tertinggal. Jadi banyak mistakes dia dalam dia punya essay. Okay. The result was sensational. The result was sensational. Okay, so sensational ni macam mana they create something that is shocked. Maybe dia orang jadi macam terperanjat, orang tiba-tiba jadi interested, menarik, tertarik kepada result tu. Result apa contoh yang sensational, for example, macam Liverpool versus Manchester United, like few weeks ago, ya. Macam tu 5-0, terkejut semua orang. Itu was sensational. Contoh, that is just an example. Right? Okay, that's an adjective. Okay. Now an adverb. An adverb is a word that modifies a verb. So adverb ni dia banyak kerja. There's so many things that adverb can do. An adverb can do. Ya. First, it modifies a verb. Dia menjelaskan kata kerja. Ya, kata kerja. Verb kata kerja dalam bahasa Melayu. So what's the kata kerja here? What's the verb here? It's walks. Alright. So how does he walk? Dia menjelaskan bagaimana sesuatu perbuatan tu dilakukan. He walks slowly. So slowly is the adjective. Ya. Adverb. Ya. Biasa dia ada ly ni. Carefully. Okay. Comes from the word from adjective like careful, for example. Careful, berhati-hati. Dengan berhati-hati, tambah ly saja. Carefully. Okay, so tambah saja carefully. Dia jadi. So, if you know one word, you will know more words from that particular one word. So, actually, English ni bukan susah sangat. Nak rajin sikit saja. Baca lebih sikit. Okay. And how about this? He drives fast. So, fast tak ada ly. Yeah? He drives fast. Dia memandu dengan laju. Dengan laju. Yang ni adverb. Tapi ada tak fast tu dia adjective? Ada. A fast car. Kereta yang laju. Kita menyifatkan kereta tu sebuah kereta yang laju. Tapi yang ni adjective. Beza dia. So dua-dua ni fast ya. Adverb pun dengan laju pun adverb. Adverb tu fast juga. Tak ada ly. So teacher jumpa ramai pelajar tulis macam ni, fastly, which is not right. Ya, itu yang teacher sengaja guna perkataan sebab ramai buat fastly. Tak ada fast sahaja. Alright. Next. Okay. An adverb also describes or modifies an adjective. Ni adjective ni. Dia describe yang ni. Okay. Adjective. So adjective ni apa? Cold. Sejuk. Sangat sejuk, sangat-sangat sejuk, we use the adverb extremely, very cold. It's too cold to be here. Too, very, extremely cold. Yeah, so dia modify adjective. Yeah, okay. An adverb also modifies another adverb. Another adverb. For example, okay, this is an adverb, and this is also an adverb. So, an adverb modifies another adverb. The race finished too quickly. Perlumbaan tu cepat sangatlah habis. Tak sempat nak tengok. Lari 100 meter dalam berapa saat dah habis. Tak sempat nak ambil gambar. Okay, the race finished too quickly. A sentence, an adverb modifies a sentence. Dia modify the whole sentence, satu ayat tu. Okay, contoh satu ayat tu apa? We were safe. This is a complete sentence, okay? We were safe. ada subject, ada verb, ada complement. Ya. So ayat penuh. So yang ni kita boleh guna adverb untuk modify ayat tu. Okay. For example, luckily, this is adverb. Okay. Describing or modifies the sentence we were saved. So luckily we were saved. So I hope you have understood and you have remembered the rules. Yeah, because we are going to look at this a lot after this. All right. Okay. Now let's go to the next slide. Okay. Now read this paragraph. Right. I read for you. When I was young, people thought I was a happy girl. Yeah? Okay, I hope you can see. Oh, sorry. Mm, when I was young, okay. People thought I was a happy girl because I always looked happy. People did not know that my parents were very busy. They did not have time for me. I felt lonely as I was the only child. Yeah. Okay. So when you read this, do you feel sad reading it? I mean, what's the effect it has on you? Um, Madam Mazita, hello,
Yes. Yes,
Madam.
Karen.
Okay, I asked the audience, yeah, pelajar-pelajar.
Okay.
Okay, um, how do you feel when you read this? Do you feel sad? What
All
are the
right.
effects this paragraph have has on them? Okay,
Okay, so
so
for students who are
right,
watching,
they,
you
they,
boleh
they can
respond
write,
lah.
yeah, they can write in the
Yeah.
uh, chat column. Hmm.
So I will read the responses and maybe
Just a few,
if you
maybe
can have
just
a
a few.
few, yeah.
Is there any now?
Not yet so far.
Okay,
Tak ada
never
lagi
mind.
setakat ni.
All right, it's
Okay,
okay.
tak apa.
So now we go to the next paragraph. Just compare this paragraph with this one. Yeah. Okay, I'll read for you. Madam Majita, can you see the cursor that I'm showing
Yes,
in?
yes. Okay, there's some responses, Karen, on
Okay,
your
okay, okay.
questions just now. Okay. Alia Safia said here, I feel sad on behalf of her.
Okay.
Sad and pity. Feel sad. Most of them are saying they're sad.
Okay, all
No
right.
spend time with family.
Mm.
Okay, sad, sad,
Oh, who
right?
says that? Okay, never mind. All right. Now
All right,
compare.
okay.
All right, this paragraph with this one, the longer one. Okay, sorry, the longer one. Okay, I'll read for you. Okay, I used to be a happy, carefree young girl without a worry in the world. Okay, so now I don't want to waste time. So I'm going to identify the um, adjective first. Okay, here straight away. All right, so here we have the word happy, happy, and we have the word busy, and we have the word lonely and only, and also the okay, what color, right? And the what do you call this? The adverbs, all right? So now, oops, okay, now, all right, I'll read this with you, okay? Um, I used to be a happy, carefree young girl without a worry in the world. Oh, I read first lah, nanti effect dia tak sama I baca dulu. Okay. I used to be a happy, carefree young girl without a worry in the world. I laughed a lot and people would often envy me for my cheerful disposition. But I was only happy on the outside. Deep down in my heart, I was a lonely child, desperately in need of love and attention. I wanted to learn the art of loving and to be loved in return, but there was no one there to turn to. Dad was never around, and Mom was too busy with her hectic schedule to even notice whether I was alive or not. I had no little brother or little sister. Too messy was what Mom always said when I asked her why she did not want to have another baby. Okay, before I highlight some words here, okay, what can the students say about this? Comparing it to the first paragraph. Okay, can have some responses in the comment column.
Most of them are saying that one person is saying she feels lonely.
Mhm. What are the effects on you
Yeah,
student?
effect.
Okay, what are the effects
Um,
on you student? Um, do you feel there are more emotions involved here, right? In the second paragraph, in the next paragraph. Um, for example, I think you can see clearly why she's lonely, and you can see clearly why what makes the parents busy. Yeah, it is clear here. It's more descriptive here, and you know the word empathy, empathize. Yeah, empathize. How to spell empathize? Oops. Okay. Empathy dalam bahasa Melayu pun empathy juga tak? Emp- Empathy, empathize. Right. Is my spelling correct? Okay. Empathize dalam bahasa Melayu dan empathy ya. Maksud dia dapat apa? Je salah ni. Sorry. Sorry, wrong spelling. Tengok teruk ni teacher. Bismillah. Empathy. Right. Verb, empathize. Ya. um, Empathize, empathy maksud dia kalau bahasa Melayu dapat merasakan perasaan orang tu. You faham sangat-sangat keadaan orang tu. So this one, compare, okay, the first paragraph compared to the second paragraph. Of course, the second paragraph make you uh, empathize, be able to empathize more kan dengan writer ni, penulis ni. Okay, because it has, okay, this um, paragraph has a lot of sorry, pergi buat eraser pula. Okay, have a lot of adjectives, describing the feeling, describing the personality of the writer herself. Yeah, happy, carefree young girl. Yeah, cheerful disposition. Disposition ni perwatakan lah, perwatakan yang ceria macam tu. Happy. Okay, and then we have lonely, and then we have never around, I was too busy, hectic, shadow, jadual yang sangat padat ya, sangat busy. Okay, alive, hidup ke tidak, little brother, little sister, messy, too messy, macam berserabut-serabut ya, messy. You know, bila ada anak kecil ni barang bersepah, so and so forth lah, lebih kurang macam tu. Okay, and then have another baby. Okay, these are all adjectives. Yeah, so there are also adverbs. Okay, adverbs. Like for example, we have the word deep down in my heart, I was alone. So deep down is actually an idiomatic expression also. Yeah, dia perkataan tu datang dua, deep dengan down tu. Jadi idiomatic expressions. And the word desperate ini, desperate lah. I think you understand what it means by desperate or desperately. Um, there. There was no one there to return to. This is also an adverb. And that was never around. Dua-dua. Never around. Too busy with a hectic schedule to even notice whether I was alive or not. All right, too messy. Okay, that's it. Okay, so you can see it's longer. It doesn't have to be long actually to write descriptively, but for this particular paragraph, it is long because maybe the writer needs to show to the audience or to the readers that these are the things that make her lonely and why the parents were not always there for her, you know. All right. So this is the first paragraph, the introduction. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so I call this plain language. The language is plain. It doesn't give you the feel of reading a narrative. Tak rasa membaca cerita, ya. So I remember Miss Yusnita, Cikgu Yusnita from Sester, when we had the gerak kerja webinar dulu untuk yang JPNT, ya, untuk bahasa Inggeris juga. She used the word dramatic. Dramatis ke apa kalau bahasa Melayu. Kena dramatik sikit, biar pembaca tu rasa apa yang kita penulis ni rasa, macam tu. Alright. And this is what I call a narrative language because it uses a lot of descriptive words, yeah, like the adjective and adverbs. Right, so we go to the next slide. Everything changed on that day. Okay, everything changed on that day. My parents had a fight and my father left. My mother said that we would be fine, but I was so sad. I went for a walk that evening. Unfortunately, I met with an accident. Okay, so the writer used okay, the word fine. Sorry, this is supposed to be what color just now? Okay, adjective, fine and sad, right? And then that's it. And then we have the adverb. Remember, adverb describe a sentence. So I met with an accident. So that's a complete sentence. So you can use an adverb to describe or to modify this sentence. So unfortunately, I met with an accident. And another one just now I saw is the word so. Okay, that is an adverb. All right. So now take a look at the next paragraph. Okay, paragraph. Okay, that is paragraph. Okay, everything changes. Everything changed on that fateful day when I went for a walk in the evening. Dad had come home for a while and then went off again after having a fight with Mom. I wiped a tear off my face. I could not understand how Mom could smile with all the tears in her eyes and tell me that everything would be wonderful someday. When? When would it be all right? I was busy with my thought that I did not see the truck nor hear the horn until it was too late. Okay, so if you can see here, it's very clear that this one is more descriptive. Okay, the writer does not even use the word sad. Yeah, the word sad tidak disebut pun, but we know that she was really sad. She just used the sentence, I wiped a tear off my face. And then she asked question, right? Looking at her mom with tears in her eyes, and then promised her something good will turn up maybe someday, but she doubted it. Okay, she doubts. All right. And then I was busy with my thought that I did not see the truck nor hear the horn until it was too late. So here in the first paragraph, I met with an accident. So in this paragraph, the writer does not even mention the word accident. So this is a good way, a good style of writing a narrative. You don't have to spell out everything, but you do it using descriptive language. You use description, okay, to um, explain accident. So tak perlu tulis semua, macam dah tak ada suspense, ya. Kadang semua dah tulis, so pembaca dah rasa macam tak ada benda nak fikir, dia tak ada something that make the readers curious, or things like that. Okay, so you jangan sebut semua benda kalau boleh lah. This is like if possible. Okay, you can only write like this when you read a lot. Ya, you banyak membaca, you banyak pengalaman, knowledge tu daripada pembacaan tu banyaklah you boleh tulis. Alright, so here kita cari. Okay, now is okay, kita pergi ke pen kuning dulu. Okay, so everything changed on that fateful day. Adjective. Okay, that had come for a while and then went off again. Okay, I wiped a tear off my face. I could not. Okay, wonderful someday. All right, and then when would it be all right? I was busy with my thought that okay, right. So that those are adjectives. So now look at the adverbs. Again, adverb went off again. I cannot understand how could smile. Will it be all right? Okay. I was busy with my thought. Okay. All right. Was too late. So these are the adjectives and adverbs used in this paragraph. Okay. So the next one. Okay. So plain versus narrative. The next one is okay. Now I have to use a wheelchair because I lost both of my legs. People pity me for not being able to walk anymore, but I do not mind because I have got what I wanted. My parents' love. Okay, so in the accident, the writer lost both of her legs. Okay, pity her. Kalau baca sini dah rasa macam kesihan kan, pity her. But take a look at this one. Okay. Now, as I sit on the wheelchair and think about what happened, I know that it is all a blessing in disguise. There are so many things that I have now that I had never tasted before the unfortunate accident. Ya, faham tak? So sekarang dia duduk atas wheelchair. Okay. Selepas accident tu, dia dapat merasakan semua benda yang dia tak rasa masa dia ada kaki dulu, masa dia tak accident dulu, sebab parents were being very busy. Ya, tapi bila dia kena accident ni, dia dapat rasakan apa benda dia nak cerita. Okay, now I have learned the meaning of love and felt the joy of being loved. Okay, she got the love from her parents now. Although people who come to visit me often look at me with pity reflected in their eyes, I do not mind. Some even shy away when they see the space where both of my legs used to be. So if you compare to this one terus cakap I lost both of my legs, hilang kaki, dua-dua kaki hilang. Okay. But here it is mentioned like this. Some even shy away when they see the space where both of my legs used to be. So that means she lost her legs, but she doesn't use the word lost. Yeah. Okay. Crippled, horrifying accident, marred for life. Right? Crippled, dah cacat, dah kudung ya, tak ada kaki. Horrifying accident, marred for life, musnah hidup selamanya. Ya, sebab accident yang sangat teruk ya, yang sangat uh, horrible lah. Okay, those are the words I usually hear being whispered behind my back. They all feel sorry for me, but I don't. I know that I have gained so much more than I have lost. Alright, so here there are also a lot of less common lexis. Ya. Banyak perkataan yang bagus-bagus kat sini. Okay, so I start with this first. Okay, kita ambil hijau pula. Okay, a blessing in disguise. Ya. Alright. A blessing in disguise. Bahasa Melayu ada hikmah di sebalik kejadiannya. Apa-apa yang berlaku, kita percaya ada hikmah di sebalik itu. So in English, a blessing in disguise. So this writer uses one idiomatic expression. Just now that's one in the beginning, and this is another. Alright. And then we have the adjectives. Okay, unfortunate accident. Okay, cripple, horrifying. Okay, horrifying accident. Um, they all feel sorry for me. Okay, rasa kesian ya dekat saya. I know that I have to so much more than I have lost. Alright, so here the adverb. Okay, there are so many things that I have now that I have now. I have before the unfortunate accident. Now I have learned the meaning of love and felt the joy of being loved. Although people who come to visit often look at me with pity reflected in their eyes, I do not mind. Some even shy away when they see the space where both of my lips used to be. Cripple, horrifying accident, marred for life. Those are the words I usually hear being whispered behind my back. They all feel sorry for me, but I don't. I know that I have gained so much more than I have lost. Yeah. All right. So here also there are actually, but not so many. Walk anymore. Yeah. Okay. So you understand the story now. It's because of the accident that she was able to gain back the parents' love, because the parents started to uh, giving her the attention that she needed in the past lah dalam masa dulu ya. Okay, so as if she's grateful to have that accident even though she lost her legs ya. Macam grateful, sangat apa grateful. Apa dia? Grateful. Bersyukur ya, bersyukur sebab kalau tak accident mungkin tak macam ni. You'll see what the writer has to say in the next paragraph. Okay, alright. Actually, there are more paragraphs in between. Ya. Ada banyak lagi paragraphs in between, but I have to skip some paragraphs because this is a long essay actually. Just and for me to show an example of a narrative, a good narrative. Yeah. Um, so I have to skip some paragraphs. So this is the conclusion, the ending. Straight away, I jump to the ending. Yeah. Otherwise, if I don't jump to the ending straight away, it will take long. Right. So we read the last paragraph. Okay. We are finally united. Yeah. Finally united. We always go on holidays together. We usually go to a beach to enjoy its beauty. If it were not because of the accident, I would not be able to enjoy this kind of life now. I am so grateful that my parents show their love to me now. So the essay, the paragraph, okay, the idea is a bit straightforward kan? Dia cerita saja, straightforward saja. Tapi apa kalau you dah boleh tulis macam ni dah cukup bagus actually. But usually when students write this style, right, usually students make a lot of errors. Biasanya tahap yang macam ni, what I'm trying to say is tahap yang straightforward macam ni akan ada banyak errors sebab dia satu package. Lemah dalam penulisan tu, idea tak banyak, idea jadi straightforward, lepas tu idea apa banyak pula grammatical errors. Dia selalu satu package macam tu. Okay. Tapi kalau boleh tulis macam ni dah cukup bagus sebenarnya, cukup bagus. Cuma I have to show to you a much better way of writing a narrative yang betul-betul yang sebenarnya kita nak ya. Okay, so grateful is the adjective. Banyak juga dia guna ni. Adjective, this kind of. Okay, next. We often go on family vacations. The most popular destination is always a beach. The azure water, the swaying casuarinas, the soft silky feel of sand between my fingers always manage to help me feel at peace with myself. It is at times like this when I often realize how much I have been missing and would have continued to be deprived of if the accident had not taken place. I know the bliss I am going through now is not something I can do without. All the things I do and share with my family now are things that I like about my life, things that have taught me how to love and how to be loved. So that's how the story ends. Yeah. Okay, so we often go on family vacation. The most popular, like the word scariest in the beginning is now okay. The most popular adjective in superlative form. Yeah, destination is always a beach. The azure blue. Azure water. Okay, so the water has the color of bright blue um, of the sky. That's what azure means. Yeah, biru yang cantik, biru yang terang tu, the bright blue. Yeah? The swaying casuarinas. What is a casuarina? Ia pokok ru ya. Kita panggil pokok ru yang tepi-tepi pantai tu banyak tu casual. The swing casuarinas, right? The soft, silky feel of sand between my fingers always manage to help me feel at peace with myself. It is at times like this when I often realize how much I have been missing and would have continued to be deprived of if the accident had not taken place. I know the bliss I am going through now is not something I can do without. All the things I do and share with my family now are things that I like about my life, things that have taught me how to love and how to be loved. So, Sabtu tadi kita tengok uh, Adword pula. Okay, we often go. Yeah? Always is always a beach. My fingers always manage, right? I often realize how much I have been. Actually, how much these are all adverbs. Okay, would have continued to be deprived. Okay, if the accident had not taken place. I'm going through. Now it's not something I can do without. Okay, all right. So how to love and how to be loved. So you can see the ending of the story now. This is more dramatic rather than this one ya. The first one tak berapa. Yang first one ni sangat apa orang kata bukan sangat lah, agak straightforward ya. Agak straightforward. Okay, this one is agak sorry. Okay, paragraph 1 dengan paragraph 2. This is the ending. Cantik dah ya, as I said to you just now. If you can write like this without errors, to me it is already good, because usually many students make many mistakes in writing. So kalau tak ada mistakes sangat ataupun mistake sikit-sikit je boleh tahan, right? Tapi untuk you dapat score high, you kena target to achieve this writing, this kind of writing ni. Yang ni. Untuk dapat CA tinggi, 4 or 5, you have to have this kind of style in your narrative, in your story. Kena ada style yang dramatis tadi. You kena macam tu, baru dia descriptive. Baru rasa safe sikit untuk dapat 4 or 5. Of course, not to say of course, but many students also make mistakes in this kind of writing. But at least the effect tu dah ada, effect macam narrative yang bagus dah ada, lepas tu ada mistake sikit pula, mungkin you akan dapat 4 or 5 for your CA. Okay, done with the first essay, not a full essay, just to show you. Okay, we have not gone into the the exam yet, into exam tips yet. Kita tengok macam mana nak ni. Okay, kita buat sikit yang ni. Okay, if I do this in a workshop, we will do this together. But because I have to save time, I just do this for you. Alright. So, okay. How to use a good adjectives and adverbs. Alright. How to use them appropriately. Okay. First, you have to use an adjective or an adverb with a purpose. Kena ada tujuan. Okay, for example, if you read this, okay, I read this with you. I remember one night looking through the windows of our room at the trees, which brushed against our fence. The trees would sway sometimes in the wind, as it was common in my village at night. I would watch the trees dance, believing to see many shapes forming in the dark, as if the trees were alive in a conscious way. The trees would shift into the types of monsters my imagination dreamed up. I would tell my mother about the shapes and forms. Okay, so if when we read this, all right, we know that um, gini, kalau kita penulis, kita nak bawa pembaca ke arah mana, kita nak buat pembaca rasa apa, so itu purpose, tujuan kita. Tujuan kita, okay, nak buat pembaca rasa macam ni, rasa macam tadi sedih ke, kita nak buat pembaca rasa happy ke, atau yang ni, ni macam malam, night kan, night ni malam, okay, and then ada pokok besar-besar ke apa semua ni, kita nak buat maybe pembaca rasa takut. So you have a purpose, okay, a purpose to make the reader feel scared. Then you have to use adjectives that can make them feel scared. For example, okay, kena ada tujuan. Barulah kita punya penggunaan adjective dengan adverbs tu kena or appropriate. Yeah, we have to use them appropriately. For example now, so kita katalah kita nak buat, diorang rasa juga macam kita, the writer ni, this writer I ni, rasa apa malam tu. Okay, I remember one night. Okay, so one night looking through the windows. Okay, what kind of night? Kita nak pilih perkataan apa? Kalau kita nak bagi malam tu malam yang menakutkan, okay, kalau kita guna warm, a warm night, mungkin tak jadi. Macam tu. So maybe you have to use words that go with the whole idea of the paragraph. Okay, for example, the cold night, maybe a windy night, maybe a stormy night. Ni contoh. Or maybe a dark night. Maybe you kata malam memang dark, teacher. Tapi ada malam yang ada full moon, is not that dark. So this is dark. Maybe there's no moon. So when you use the word dark, I remember one dark night. So it's understood there's no moon that night. It's really dark. Maybe it's after rain or something. Okay, so that gives more meaning. Using one word, dark, it gives more meaning. Okay, about the night that you experience that night. Okay, I remember one dark night, for example, looking through the windows of our room at the trees. Okay, so now if you want to use an adjective, you have to identify the what do you call the nouns. Yeah, this is a noun, this is a noun, and this is a noun. So are we going to use all the should we modify all the nouns? Not necessarily. So always with a purpose. Perlu ke tak? Perlu ke tak nak modify room ni? Perlu ke tak nak modify the windows? Okay, looking through the windows. Maybe the glass windows of our room. Okay, kalau nak tambah kat situ. A square window. Kalau you nak letak square window, why? Kenapa penting nak guna square tu? Just jangan tambah senang-senang. So square tu tak penting. It's through the windows of our room. Okay, maybe glass, right? Windows of our room, glass maybe, because it shows that you could see through the windows. That means the windows were not open, okay, because you could see through because it was they were glass windows, yeah, right. So of our room, room nak cerita ke big or small, okay, penting ke? If it's important, why? For example, if you want to say from our small room, okay, small room, maybe it gives the idea of your house, that the whole house is not a big house. Maybe you want to say that you were poor, miskin, rumah kecil, so bilik pun kecil, something like that. So it depends on your intention, what meaning or what message you want to deliver to the reader. Okay, of our room at the trees. What kind of trees? Big trees, huge trees. Okay, right. Ah, what kind of trees you nak tunjuk? Kalau pokok besar-besar, pokok kecil-kecil menakutkan tak? Not really. Maybe huge trees which brushed against our fence. Brush against. Okay, so sekarang kita pakai okay, now kita jumpa verb, kata kerja. Yang tadi now kata kerja. Which maybe if it's a stormy night, maybe violently brushed against our fence. Yeah. Alright, our tall fence. Apa pagar yang tinggi. Or maybe you want to say old, yang apa, old wooden fence, yang lama, yang usang dan diperbuat dari kayu, maybe. So apa tujuan nak guna wooden? Apa tujuan nak guna old? Maybe you could expect that bila pokok-pokok besar ni brushed violently against our old wooden fence, maybe tak lama lagi fence ni runtuh, macam tu. Okay, the trees would sway sometimes in the wind, as it was common in my village at night. So village, maybe remote village. Okay, I would watch the trees dance, believing to see many shapes forming. Okay, alright. So what kind of shapes? Okay, odd shapes, weird shapes. Yeah, maybe use the word odd, yang pelik. Okay, in the dark, as if the trees were alive in a conscious way. The trees would shift into the types of monsters. What kind of monsters? Ni semua noun, ya. What kind of monsters? Ugly monsters. Okay, if you know more words, maybe hideous monsters. My imagination dreamed up. I would tell my mother about the shapes and forms. The blah blah blah. Okay, so this is ways. Okay, this is a way for you to use adjectives and adverbs appropriately. You have to do it with purposes. Yeah, with a purpose. For one adjective with one purpose. So for the whole thing, maybe a purpose of for the whole paragraph, for describing the whole paragraph. One purpose is to make the um, reader scared. Okay, like you were that night, you were scared. Nak suruh orang rasa empathize untuk rasa. Okay, alright. And then itu cara nak guna. Okay, now we have a few more paragraphs. Okay, right, 11:09 now. Okay, so now done with the adjective and adverb. It's not that done. It's just after this, I will identify adjectives and adverbs in more paragraphs after this. So that you learn more new words. Yeah. While reading the rest of the paragraphs. Okay, now the focus is on being creative. Yeah, be creative. Okay, look at this paragraph. This is just one paragraph out of quite long essay. Yeah, I just took only one. To Jongkabe, the sheer novelty of having new clothes bought from the shop made him forget the next thing his parents and he had come to town for: to register at the school and make the sole teacher within a radius of 60 kilometers. A brief meeting with the teacher taught him that he had to be at school by 8 in the morning, or when the sun was casting a shadow twice as long as the object. All right. So, what is this paragraph about? Okay, you will see the word school, you will see the word teacher. Yeah. New clothes must be the school uniform, maybe, right? And the name Jonka Bay is quite alien to us. This is not it's not a common name. We've not seen this name before, maybe. Okay. Right. So the setting of this um, story might not be in Malaysia, ya. Mungkin tidak di Malaysia sebab nama Jongkabe tu tak ada dekat Malaysia. Entah nama ni direka sahaja, tak wujud pun. Okay. Ini creativity penulis, ya. The creativity of the writer. Alright. Okay, next. Compared to this one, this is quite long, right? 3 years of struggle had transformed me from a meek and feeble boy into a strong and high-spirited teenager. I was no longer afraid of gunshots, and throwing hand grenades was like pitching in a baseball game. The first time I got to this school, little did I know that the life here was more unbearable and worse than that in the boarding school I went to. But I would not run away again this time. I worked hard. In fact, I became the top trainee. My physical prowess was exceptional. I possessed superior hand-eye coordination and could handle firearms very well. Desert Eagle Master. That was what my comrades called me, since I could use the Desert Eagle one-handed. In addition, I was the best marksman and excelled in hand-to-hand combat. There was no doubt that my performance was something that I could brag about. Okay, so what are the similarities that you can see in this paragraph compared to the other paragraph just now? You can see the word school here, and then this is also school. Yeah. So this is okay. The first time I got to this school, so that means it is about an experience in a school. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here, if you compare these two, yeah, paragraphs, yeah, uh, they share the same thing actually. The idea is about school. Yeah. Idea dua-dua pasal sekolah. But they're very different from each other. Sangat berbeza kan? Apa yang buat dia sangat berbeza itu idea. This one is somewhere, the setting is not even in Malaysia. Okay, this one maybe is not even in Malaysia also. But this one is about a boy maybe, Jongkabe, registering at a new school. Yeah. Dalam keadaan mungkin tak ada jam, okay, by 8 in the morning, kita tengok kat bawah ni, by 8 in the morning, or when the sun was casting a shadow twice as long as the object. Apa tujuan penulis tulis ni? Maybe the writer wants to show that this boy doesn't even have what you call a watch. Yeah? Didn't even have a watch. Mungkin ni cerita ya, so pakai past tense. Tak ada watch pun. So, lepas tu kena tengok apa nak pergi sekolah. Nak tengok masa tu kena tengok the shadow. Shadow tu apa? Bayang-bayang. This is creativity. Yeah, creativity. Very descriptive. Yeah, very good piece of paragraph dekat sini. Sangat bagus ya. Actually banyak adjective apa semua juga ni. Sangat-sangat banyak. Sheer novelty. Banyak sangat adjective ya. Brief meeting, yeah. Sole teacher, yeah. Seorang je cikgu dalam satu kawasan yang luas dia 60 km in a radius of 60 km. Yang macam you bayangkan satu kawasan yang luas dia 60 km tu, seorang je ada cikgu kat situ. So maybe he lived far away from this school. Okay, what about this one? Yang ni Dia cerita pasal apa? What kind of school is this? This is a school maybe in Africa. Kemungkinan di Afrika lah. Kita tengok lebih kurang contoh. Okay, this one, this is a military school. Sekolah military apa dia? Ketenteraan ya, military. Okay, sekolah ketenteraan. Dia belajar apa? Okay, so okay, I highlight this one ni sebab banyak sangat dia punya good adjective. Teacher share lah kat sini. Okay, alright. 3 years of struggle had transformed me from a meek, feeble boy, very weak, into a strong. This is not highly, this is ni salah ni, high. Ni teacher silap ni. Okay, so then okay, ni salah. Okay, high spirited. Okay, high spirited teenager. I was no longer afraid of gunshots, and throwing hand grenades was like pitching in a baseball game. The first time I got to this school, little did I know that the life here was more unbearable and worse than that in the boarding school I went to. But I would not run away again this time. I worked hard. In fact, I became the top trainee. My physical prowess was top notch. Ni a little bit informal, nanti teacher akan tukar sikit. Top notch. I possess superior hand-eye coordination and could handle firearms very well. Desert Eagle Master, that was what my comrades called me since I could use a Desert Eagle one-handed. In addition, I was the best marksman, and excelled in hand-to-hand combat. There was no doubt that my performance was something that I could brag about. So a lot of adjective. Okay, adverb, right? This one is also an adjective, afraid. Banyak lagi. Itulah kalau kita tertinggal tu tak apalah. Okay, so banyak-banyak sangat. Would not run away. Would not run away again. Run away again. This time I worked hard. Okay. Superior hand-eye coordination, could handle firearms very well. Okay. One-handed, pakai sebelah tangan saja. What is Desert Eagle? I think those who play games a lot, they know what Desert Eagle is. It's one of the most powerful guns that have ever been invented. Sangat-sangat powerful. I was the best man. So okay, okay, that's it. Okay, so can you see how many there's so many adjectives and adverbs used here? Banyak guna. Okay, so just to show you how creative you can be if you read a lot. If like you can see these are two different writers, dua-dua ni pelajar berbeza, I know them, they read a lot. Memang sangat banyak membaca. And the one on the left ni, yang military writing, the writer of this military school story ni, dia banyak juga main game. Banyak membaca dan main game. So the result is, the outcome is these two students have a lot of knowledge. Banyak sangat dia punya knowledge. So to be able to be creative, you have to read a lot. Itu yang teacher boleh cakap. Kita tak boleh nak tolong banyak. Cikgu ni banyak sangat nak kena bagi, tapi masa tak cukup dalam kelas, kita tak boleh bagi. You have to put more effort. And one of the efforts is through reading. Tak ada cara lain lah untuk you bagus menulis. Masih ada masa lagi. Yang tingkat 4 pelajar form 4 masih ada banyak masa lagi, Okay, so done with this, right? Right now, exam tips. Kita ada exam tips, Okay, model question 1. Kita terus masuk ke cara menjawab soalan. How to answer SPM question. Okay, the first one. You have seen this announcement in a magazine for young people. Can you write a story for our new magazine series? The story must have the following title: An unforgettable incident. Your story must include a description of the of the incident and the reasons why it is unforgettable. Okay, so um, uh, first thing first, of course, all right, you have to highlight the keywords in the question. So the keywords might help you fulfill the task. So what are the tasks? Okay, so there are two tasks, task 1 and this is task 2. These are the two main tasks. Okay, but you have to remember your essay have to be guided by this idea: unforgettable incident. Yeah, unforgettable incident. And in order for you to write about this unforgettable incident, you have to include the description of the incident and the reasons why it is unforgettable. So these are the tasks that you have to feel uh, to fulfill. All right. Okay. Now take a look at example. Okay, not the example yet. The planning of the plot. Ya, kena plan plot dulu. So apa-apa essay when you during the exam you have to plan dulu. Kena plan points apa semua. Kalau cerita plan plot lah. Okay, so take about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, and don't forget to include the tasks. Ya, in the planning. Jangan lupa pula task ni. Kalau short sendiri, especially bila you dah ada idea dan idea tu you dah pernah macam you baca ke apa, you rasa sesuai dengan cerita tu, you terus lupa tasks. And then when you're done with writing, you will be shocked because you have not included the task in your writing. So masa dah tak cukup, masa tu dah menggelabah. So be careful. So planning sangat penting untuk kita tidak menggelabah masa akhir exam tu. Kena plan dulu. Kena ambil masa. And this one, if I do this in a workshop, I will time. Ya, teacher akan buat timing dengan students. Ambil masa 5 minit. Lepas 5 minit tak boleh. Cuba timing. You buat seorang-seorang kat rumah pun, you cuba jawab satu soalan, you time dulu plan tu. The plot tu. Ambil masa 5 minit macam tu. Okay. Sebab kadang-kadang pelajar nak tulis tu ambil masa. So bila you training, you practice planning, okay, at least you masa exam you dah biasa. You dah tak, orang Terengganu kata jam dah. Okay, and then okay, so what should you have in your essay? Okay, the first paragraph is always the introduction. Apa-apa essay pun always the introduction. This is a convention. The convention of writing any essays, you must have introduction. Except for email tu biasalah, email tu sangat pendek. But the rest, yang lain-lain tu banyak mesti pakai introduction. Okay, for a story, an introduction should contain the setting lah. Kita guna perkataan setting. Setting is the where and the when, and maybe you want to mention the character, the who. Ya, character. Nak perkenalkan karakter siapa terlibat, you sendiri ke or somebody else or many people. Okay, so that's the introduction. Okay, and then next few paragraphs, incidents leading up the climax of the story. So cerita mesti ada climax. You watch movies, you watch drama, series and all, they all have climax in the story. Dia tak ada cerita mendah, tak ada, jadi cerita lah pula. Okay, so usually there will be problems, conflict, yeah, and how did the problem happen? Okay, what was the problem? Okay, who were involved? Siapa yang terlibat dalam problem tu? Okay, so this is in the next few paragraphs. If let's say your essay is not that long, because you are required to write only about 250 words, ya, paling tinggi dia bagi 250, but you can write longer. Don't worry, you can write longer. You will not be penalized. Ya, markah tidak dipotong kalau you tulis panjang. Tak ada. Tapi you are expected to write this much. Tak perlu panjang pun maksudnya. Kalau tulis 250 words is good enough, it's good enough lah. Okay, so if you plan to write not so many, using not so many words, mungkin dalam 250 to 300, so maybe there are not many paragraphs. So maybe after first paragraph kat sini mungkin dua paragraph ke, we don't know ya. Tengok keadaan lah. Okay, next few paragraphs, the conflict lah, apa cerita sebenar. Okay, and then the paragraphs after, maybe one or two paragraphs after this one ya. Yang ni maybe one or two paragraphs. Okay, incidents after the climax. So ada insiden after dia turun balik. So climax dia dah naik, lepas tu turun balik. How was the problem solved? So bila lepas the climax tu mesti kalau dia ada masalah. So masalah tu selesaikan macam mana. Okay, how did the conflict end? Macam mana konflik tu berakhir ya. Okay, and then last paragraph is the ending lah, the short conclusion. Happy or sad ending? What is learned? Ni contoh. Maybe you have more things to mention in conclusion. Okay, another way of planning, maybe you can do it. Like you can do it in what you call in point form like this ya, macam point. Point macam tu. Buat macam boleh juga. Okey, ataupun you boleh buat dalam bentuk graph ya. Graph pun senang. Okey, ini graph the structure, okay, the plot structure, plot structure of a narrative ya. So here is the intro, the beginning. Bahasa mudah kita sebut beginning lah. Kadang-kadang orang panggil expository ya. And then this is the rising action. Ya, rising action ni naik kepada apa? Climax kat sini. Climax. Ya. Climax kat atas sekali. Rising action ni going towards the climax. And then the falling. Nak tulis macam ni. Falling action ya. Falling dia dah menurun. And this is the resolution. Kalau bahasa menulis ni kita panggil resolution, but actually it's the ending ya. Ending, kat sini ending, kat sini beginningnya apa? Expository tadi, the introduction, itu je. Buat mudah-mudah, you faham yang mudah-mudah lagi senang. So untuk plan, okay. So for the what you call the next sample ya, sample essay, full essay. Yang ni full essay yang teacher nak tunjuk ni. Introduction dia mungkin okay, it involves a teacher by the name Mr. Iqbal, okay, and then it happened during a test in a class, ya. Buat macam tu je, very simple, okay. And then apa berlaku masa tu? Okay, you involved, alright. Maybe I okay, found one difficult question. Okay, difficult question. That's one difficult question. Masalah sekarang nak masuk ke rising action, ke climax ni, ada satu soalan susah masa test tu. Lepas tu bila susah and I didn't want to leave it unanswered, I never happened to me, contoh ya, before I took a peep at, okay, I took a peep at a friend's paper. Friend's paper. Apa maksud take a peep at ni? Dia meniru. Jeling-jeling meniru. Sebab tak nak tinggal satu soalan yang susah ni. Nak jawab juga. Okay. So bila meniru, apa jadi? Climax you boleh teka. So you got caught by Mr. Iqbal. Tolong macam tu je. Tak payah ni. Kadang I ask students to write a plan of an essay. They wrote very long. Macam dah essay dah. Ni kena pandai ni nak pakai 3 to 5 minutes ya. Kena buat macam ni je. Lepas tu you describe a lot in your essay, in the paragraphs ya. Okay, so apa berlaku bila got caught? Of course, I was embarrassed. Okay, so apa dia buat? The Mr. Iqbal did something, yeah, did something that makes you embarrassed lah. So maybe kita akan tengok cerita tu, cerita yang penuh embarrassed. Okay, and then you foolish, um, and you regret it. So in the end, you regret it. Yeah, menyesal lah di akhirnya. So this what makes the incident unforgettable because you were embarrassed and you felt foolish. You did a foolish act and you regretted that for the rest of your life. Ya, kalau lah tak buat, you tak akan embarrassed. Okay, maybe nak tambah sikit. Mr. Iqbal tu buat apa? Okay, he tore your paper. Tore your paper, mengoyak kertas jawapan kamu. Macam tu. Okay, so done. Okay, so let's take a look at the essay. Okay. Okay, now yang ni, my focus is to use to see the use of the past simple tense and the cohesive devices. Tadi teacher banyak buat adjective and adverb. So this one is past simple or simple past tense and cohesive devices. Ya, yang penting ini nak target apa? Yang ni nak target dekat language, grammar biar betul. Ya, oh sorry. Okay, saya kita selalu okay, so this one is for your language. This one is for your organization. Okay, all right. Mr. Iqbal. Okay, we do this like if it's in a workshop, we will do this together actually, but I will do it very quickly. All right. Okay, Mr. Iqbal walked. Past tense. Okay, why do we use past tense in writing and a narrative or a story? Because it's a story, but there are stories written in present tense, yeah, in the present simple, but that's maybe for special effects also, for special purposes, okay, to make the story more dramatic. Because some novels are written in simple present. But for your SPM level, I advise, or it is advisable for you to use the simple past tense so that you don't confuse yourself. You sometimes past tense pun tak boleh, present simple pun tak boleh, present simple lagi lah. Bercampur-campur lagi, ada S tak ada S kan. So I think it's better that you use the past simple, okay? Sebab you pun faham, oh dah berlaku mesti past simple lah. Right, Mr. Iqbal walked into the class and everyone stopped. Okay, some of you say, oh this is easy teacher, kita tahu. Tapi ada orang tak tahu pun. Ada orang tak tahu, macam contoh, for example, the word teach, dia jadi taught for past tense. Ada orang ingat, teach tu, teach macam ni. Salah. Okay, so this is just what you call a revision for you. You dah belajar semua di sekolah rendah lagi. He was a teacher who did not tolerate indiscipline. We were aware that he was going to give a test. So all the books were removed from our desk. Right. He stood in front of the class, and then he past tense for gives is gave one of his usual hard looks and announced. Right? I want no noise during the test. You'll be given an hour to complete the paper. Then he walked around the class distributing the question papers. Okay, now, all right, this is the one that I mentioned in the beginning. What do you call this? Ni kita panggil apa? This is the direct speech. Cakap ajuk. Sikit-sikit tambah boleh. Cantik. Because if your essay is not that long, it's about 250 words. Okay. If you have too many direct speeches, I think it's not good. Sebab dia macam mengganggu. So just for special effect, why it is important? So this one to show that day you were having exam, and this is normally a test. This is normally what happened. Teachers would give instructions, ya, untuk buat test dan jangan buat bising macam tu. Right. And then history was my favorite subject, and I usually had no problems with it. Moreover, Mr. Iqbal was a good teacher. His lessons were always stimulating and easy to understand. I went through the paper. Only a few questions appeared to be rather difficult. I started answering from number one. Occasionally, I looked around to see how my okay after this we continue. So before I move to the next sorry, oops, what did I do? Okay, before I move to the next slide, okay, I will identify the cohesive devices straight away, the connectors. Yeah, I'm focusing on the connectors, not others. Yang he, she tu you dah tahu, you dah biasa ya. Teacher, Charlie. Okay, look at the, okay, you have the second line is, oops, what's this? Pakai biru lah. Okay, so all the books were removed from our desks. And then you have the word and. Hmm? Cohesive device, yeah? The word then. Then we have usually, and I usually had no problems with. Moreover, okay, always stimulating and easy. Actually, always is an adverb and it's a form of cohesive device also. Like yesterday, last 2 months, cohesive device juga showing the time, yeah, the one an event took place. Okay, I went through the paper. Only a few questions appeared to be rather difficult. I started answering. I think the word rather also. Okay, all right. These are all adverbs actually. Only rather adverbs. Okay, they are also cohesive devices. Occasionally, so banyak juga. We have so and these are conjunctions. Then showing is a sequence connector, yeah. And then we have usually also sequence connectors. It's like frequency adverb, yeah. They show frequency. Acap mana kita buat sesuatu. Moreover is a logical connector. Occasionally logical connector. So bercampur-campur. So banyaklah kat situ. It's quite a variety there. Okay, so we go to the next one. Occasional, okay. Balik semula, kita sambung ni. Occasionally, I look around to see how sambung, my classmates are progressing. They are all, okay. Okay, classmates were progressing. They were all concentrating while Mr. Iqbal was moving from desk to desk. I felt confident with all the answers except one, number 30. I did not want to leave that one question unanswered, so I started racking my brains. Um, okay, Imran was sitting beside me. Okay, oh, was already here. This is the correct one already. After requesting permission from Mr. Iqbal, he went out. Yang ni teacher tak tukar, right? So he went out to the washroom. His answer sheet was left uncovered. I peeped into his paper. I could not believe I had just done that. How foolish of me. The next moment, Mr. Iqbal was standing beside me. Alright, so this actually what happened. Okay, when sometimes you didn't do what you did not actually do something that you didn't want to. You one particular day it happened. Satu hari tu benda yang kita tak pernah buat kita buat. Ya, kita manusia kan, we are human beings. So this is what happened to the writer. Okay, so here, what else? Ada lagi tak? Okay, stand up. I saw you looking at Imran's paper. What have you got to say? He growled. He growled ni dah betul dah, past tense ya. Okay, so this is another direct speech. Ya, so sikit-sikit, just for special effect kat sini. Stand up. So to show that he was really angry. Mr. Iqbal was really angry. Ya, sangat marah. And the word growl there, ni vocabulary juga. Okay, so kita nak highlight apa tadi? Okay. Sorry, it's so sensitive. Highlighter. Okay. All right. We're looking for more cohesive devices. Okay, except one. Okay, so cohesive device, and then we have what else? How foolish. The next moment, this is a cohesive device. Okay. So a variety of cohesive devices from the first page. Yeah. Okay, and then the next one. Okay, all eyes were on me. Okay. Okay, all eyes were on me. I was speechless. He grabbed my paper, tore it, and flung it. Flung ni macam buang dengan kuat ni, it's like baling. Baling lah, I think fling comes from the fling is baling bahasa Melayu. Flung it into the waste paper basket. This is a warning to all of you, the class heard him say. Okay, heard him say. Why say tak bukan past tense? This is root word. Ya, ini root word because it comes after the main verb already. Heard him say. Okay, saw him dance, for example. Okay, or saw him eat. Or sometimes you have ing depending on the situation. Okay, the embarrassment was terrible. However, I was not angry with Mr. Iqbal. It was me that I blamed. If only I did not peep into Imran's paper. Okay, so ni nak menunjukkan kekesalan. If only I did not peep into Imran's paper, this wouldn't happen. Yeah, I regretted. This happened pada masa tu, so we use past tense lagi. I regretted my foolishness and I had learned a lesson. It is definitely, so sekarang ni kita balik kepada present tense sekarang sebab the whole thing is the most unforgettable incident of my life. Ni berbalik kepada soalan. This is the question. Yeah. Alright. So this is what happened to the writer. Habis kita kat situ, daripada tak nak tinggal satu soalan, tiru sikit kena dah dengan cikgu yang garang ni ya, cikgu yang strict actually. Okay. Alright. So are there any more cohesive device? Okay, kita cari cohesive device. Ada lagi tak kat sini? However, yeah. If only, yeah. And right, definitely. So I could say that the cohesive devices used in this essay are varied, yeah, pelbagai, banyak. So untuk dapat O, memang untuk dapat 5 marks for O dah dapat lah. InsyaAllah kalau macam ni insyaAllah boleh dapat O, ya, organisation 5 marks, 5 marks like this one, I think like boleh bagi 5 ya, sebab kena tengok juga yang lain, tengok apa, the paragraphing and all that. So I think paragraphing is perfect, the introduction is there, so we can see the flow of the story is there, so cantik semua, takkan tak boleh 5, macam tu lah. Alright, so this is one essay that we have answered, yeah, the model question 1, yeah. So now let's go to model question 2. Your teacher has asked you to write a story for an essay writing competition. The story must begin with the following words. That was him again. As usual, I would try to avoid looking in his direction. So your story must include a wrong opinion of a person, yeah, okay, and a lesson learned. Right. This is how you underline or you highlight the tasks. Yeah. Kena apa? Kena ingat ni. Task 1 and task 2. I forgot to mention why am I stressing task 1, task 2. These are for the content. Content C nak 5 juga. Semua 5, all 5 mark for each skill Okay, so content, if you can fulfill task 1, task 2, alright, your content will be 5. The same thing just now with Mr. Iqbal's story just now. Unforgettable incident, and then there's a mention, the description of the incident. Okay, the incident when the writer peeped into the other student's paper, and then the reason why it was unforgettable, because it was embarrassing, because he thought that he was foolish, at that time, and he regretted. So that what makes an incident very unforgettable to you. All right. So now take a look at this one. Okay. A wrong opinion of a person is not of a cat. It's not of an elephant. It's of a person. Ini pasal orang. A wrong opinion. A wrong opinion maksud dia you judge orang tu salah. It's wrong judgment about a person. It can be negative, it can be positive. Sometimes you thought a person is nice, but he or she is actually not nice. That is from positive to negative. And usually people have wrong impression about other people. Okay, so maybe something like a person who always wear torn jeans, orang yang selalu pakai jeans koyak tu, kita dah pandang serong. That is a wrong opinion of that person, but actually the person is very nice. Boleh jadi macam tu. Okay, so lesson, actually you cannot be judgmental. Kita sebenarnya tak boleh cepat judge, menilai orang. Kita tak boleh cepat menilai orang. Dah nampak baik tapi tak baik, nampak dah jahat tapi tak jahat pun, something like that. Okay, so let's take a look at the sample answer. Model answer 2. Okay. That was him again. As usual, I would try to look into his direction. He was out in his lawn raking dead leaves. Earlier, I had excitedly put on my newly bought glasses from the opticians located down the street. Now that my eyesight was fixed, I was thrilled to see everything around me so clearly. Everything but that man. Okay, this is the introduction. So ingat the setting, there's one character here beside the writer herself. Okay, but the name is not given yet. Nama another character tu tak diberi lagi. It's just him daripada the words given in the questions. The man. So dia tak sebut lagi. It's macam bagi suspense sikit nama orang tu apa lepas tu. Okay. Now, Mr. Freddy was a living definition of horror. Last month, terror struck me when I first saw him moving into the house next to mine. I was appalled when I saw his face. It was abnormally round. A unibrow stretched across his forehead, and under the unibrow was one big bulging eye with two black pupils inside. To make it worse, he had no nose or mouth at all. So this story has a humor touch, macam dia buat kelakar-kelakar sikit lah. So we may be wondering what is this person? Okay, what this person is, alien, macam this is a description of alien, but it's just Mr. Freddy, somebody who lived next door. So kita nak tengok apa lagi berlaku. Not wanting to look at his face, I hung my head low and continued walking. Just as I was about to completely walk past his house, I heard him shout, "Nice glasses, boy!" I whipped my head towards him so fast. Mr. Freddy doesn't have a mouth, so how can he talk? So this one is in simple present. Why does the writer use this in simple present? Because this is what she exactly was thinking at that time. So it's like, it's not put in the inverted commas because she's not speaking, but it is exactly on what on is on sorry was on her mind at that time. Yeah. So Mr. Fred doesn't have mouth, so how can he talk? Macam cakap sendiri-sendiri gitu. And then my expectation to see his horrifying face again never came true. Mr. Freddy actually looked normal. I realized that it was my poor eyesight back then that created the scary image of him. His big nose made it look like he had a bulging eye with two pupils, and his lips were too thin for me to see without glasses. Now I know better than to judge people's appearance too early without my glasses. So, what's the wrong opinion here? The wrong opinion, okay, this is the task, yeah? Thought Mr. Freddy was ugly, okay, just to put in a simple way. Was ugly, was weird, okay, having one eye, big bulging eye and all, okay, was ugly. And the lesson is, now, this is the lesson. I know better than to judge people's appearance too early without my glasses. All right. It's a bit illogical, but it does answer the questions. And the language is good, very descriptive, especially when describing the appearance of Mr. Freddy. Okay, everything is good. So this is maybe all full marks for the C, CA, CO. The rest also. Yang tadi pun bagus ya, essay yang bagus. So mungkin boleh dapat full marks by writing like this. And this is about, if I'm not mistaken, kita tak ingat dah, I think 254 words. This is quite a short essay. 200, dia minta 250 kan, 254 words. And the writer of this essay said that it's very difficult to write short. Okay, because she used to writing long. Okay, she used to writing long. So she felt that it's very difficult to write an essay that is developed, essay yang berkembang, yang cukup apa orang kata cukup sifat, okay, developed, yang bahasa Melayu apa, develop je dia, yang apa, yang complete lah, daripada introduction, cerita apa semua, flow semua ada, ending cantik apa semua, yang develop, but short. It's not easy. I think I agree with her, it's not easy. So it takes a person who is very talented with a lot of with really good vocabulary power, okay, reads a lot, and that help a person to write as well as this. Yeah. Okay. So this is a model answer to. Okay. So I just want to share one more. Okay. Oh, it's almost 12. Okay. I want to share one last one. Okay. This is the lesson only for model question 2 just now. Only the lesson. Yeah. Okay, it's written by somebody who's really good, yeah. Okay, you don't have to feel sorry for me, boy. Cerita dia macam ni. Neighbor dia kena tolong neighbor dia because the mother forced him to help this neighbor, an old man, okay, to mow the lawn, I think. Okay, something like that. And then everyone in the village actually didn't like him because he's a grumpy old man. Yeah, grumpy. The word used, yeah, grumpy, and then sullen. Yeah, yang apa yang jenis panas paran, grumpy inilah. So semua orang tak suka kat kampung tu. So this is what also the writer felt about this guy before meeting him. Memang this is the opinion, the wrong opinion of that person. So actually he found out that he's not that there were reasons why he was like that, but he was actually not so grumpy. Okay, actually bila jumpa tu baru kenal. Okay, I read very quickly. You don't have to feel sorry for me, boy. I've been like this for the past decade and I can't do it again for the next. An old bloke like me is about to kick the bucket anytime soon. There's no use regretting the past and blaming others for the pain I've been through. If it makes you feel any better, I did enjoy your presence today. So dia ni ada perasaan juga. For the first time in 10 years, I wasn't alone. So sedih he continued with a faint, gentle smile and tears rolled down his hollow cheeks. So towards the end tu cerita dia macam agak sedih lah because he's a lonely person tak ada orang he lives alone and children dia tak ada kat rumah dia tinggal seorang je. And then, okay, after finishing, this is the last one. This is the lesson that I want to share with you. After finishing all the chores I was assigned with, Mr. Jacobson thanked me for my help and sent me off at his porch. Then I left his abode with a heavy heart. The house lah, abode to house. An unexpected wave of guilt swept over me as remorse rushed through my veins. At that moment, I promised myself to never abandon my parents. So you don't have to mention the word lesson, the lesson I learned tak perlu. The examiner or the teachers, teachers yang baca essay you akan faham. I promise myself to never abandon. This is what you learn, to never abandon my parents and leave them to suffer the same fate as Mr. Jacobson. This is what the writer learns. Okay, I would never be able to forgive myself if I did so. I also decided to visit Mr. Jacobson as a weekly routine in case he still needed my help or companionship because I soon figured that he wasn't a bad. Okay, so he found out that he wasn't a bad person after all. Just someone who masked his warm heart with a cold, bitter exterior after enduring his tribulation of being alone. Oh, this is really good language, sangat-sangat advanced lah language-nya. Good use of verbs, all the vocabulary is good here. Okay, so that's the end of the exam tips. Okay, so yang ni actually you buat sendiri kat rumah, test yourself. Okay, untuk tahu sikit dah ni tinggal ada sikit lagi. Okay, okay, ni kalau teacher buat workshop, okay, self-evaluation activity. Okay, do not Google. Ni, the following are everyday words or phrases. Everyday words and phrases ni, walaupun dia everyday, for weak and average students, weak and average students, if you know all these words, it's already good. Dah bagus sebab kalau weak student banyak sangat perkataan yang tak tahu, nak menulis pun tak kesampaian, memang tak sampai dengan mistake-nya, dengan tak cukup vocab-nya, tapi kalau you tahu all these words tu dah cukup bagus. But for advanced students yang average nak pergi ke advanced, so you need more words, of course, need more words. Okay. Alright. Okay. Sorry, teacher tertulis. Advanced students, okay, bad. Okay, for example, the word bad. Okay, so for students who don't have a lot of vocabulary, if you know the word bad, it's good because you can, refer to many things as bad when you want to say that something is bad. Too bad, ini bad. At least you ada something nak sampaikan. But for average to good students, advanced students, bad, maybe you want to use other words. Like for example, when you describe food, maybe the food is bad. The school is bad. The story is bad. Semua bad. So what do you mean by bad? You have to specify. You have to have a specific meaning to describe. Certain things. Okay. For example, food. Okay. The food bad is disgusting. Maybe bad. The food is bad. The food is disgusting. Maybe the food is stale. Stale. basi ya. And then maybe tasteless. Ini untuk food saja. Okay, tasteless. Maybe bland. Banyak lagi, right? Ni contoh. Okay. For other things, maybe sangat teruk, atrocious. Ni banyaklah lagi. Okay, apa lagi? Horrible. So many other words ya. Terrible, awful, ya. Horrifying yang tadi kita baca. Okay, so many ya, banyak lagi. You check, okay, try to check. If you want to improve your vocabulary, try to check. You do this by yourself. You take one, maybe very angry. You take one and then don't look at the dictionary. Don't look up, don't Google them. Don't Google these words. Yeah. So you check by yourself. Okay, take about 2 minutes. What are other words that you know that have the same meaning as very angry? If you ended up like furious only, that means your vocabulary is limited. Nak tulis panjang-panjang susah lah. Jadi bila you tahu your vocabulary is limited, what should you do? You have to work on it lah. You have to read a lot. You have to put efforts. Maybe read 5 sentences of English a day, or maybe 1 page a day. Yeah. Do something. Dah lah kadang-kadang setengah tu PDPR tak masuk hari tu kan. Ni sekarang kita dah masuk sekolah. Harap-harap dah berubah. Yang tak berubah tu berubah. But there are still good students ya, yang membuatkan cikgu-cikgu rasa sejuk saja ya. PDPR masuk, sekolah datang. Okay, so alright. So sikit lagi the last one ni apa ni? Okay, so teacher sekali lalu je, teacher tak tunjuk sana, teacher dah tanda. Okay, sebiji macam yang teacher buat tadi, yang Mr. Iqbal story tadi. Ini actual essay yang dalam apa tadi, MPP2 ke tak silap, MPP2, ya kita punya MPP2, Adam couldn't wait to meet his friends at the mall. Unexpected event ke apa, tak ingat dah soalan. Okay, as he, so these students, okay, she knows simple past dia boleh pakai arrived, boleh pakai apa lagi, decided, bagus, got bored, tapi still buat mistake macam ni. It was. So my advice is, okay, if you have about 5 to 10 minutes, 5 minutes maybe tak cukup, 5 to 10 minutes in the end during the exam, masa exam betul-betul nanti, try to look for your own errors. Cari. Okay, how do you do it? Okay, you baca, jangan you jangan browse. You know, browse macam tengok sekali lalu, but you go line by line. Sempat, teacher rasa sempat. In 10 minutes kalau ada, you akan sempat. You akan baca word for word. Couldn't wait to meet his friends at the mall as he is so excited. Oh, is tertinggal. Okay, was. He arrived. Dah betul. Okay. You buat macam tu. InsyaAllah memang akan clear. You bayangkan ni, kalau pelajar dapat betulkan sendiri at the end of the exam time tu kan, he waited for them apa semua tu. Banyak dah clear actually. Sangat banyak dah clear. Ni past tense, would. Ini yang selalu berlaku. Ni tadi decided dah betul. This one decided. Nampak tak? Itu yang teacher nak, okay, kalau boleh you buat sendiri ni. You buat essay, lepas you sendiri yang check. You sendiri check. Yeah? Okay, so banyak lagi lah. Teacher rasa tak tunjuk semua lah. Ni cuma yang ni, macam ni teacher nak cepat hari tu, teacher mark sikit. Okay, just to add less common lexis lah somewhere ya. Mungkin voice started shaking, maybe you can say quavering ya. Nak tambah-tambah sikit lah. Tadi ada satu lagi. The word frantically ni tak lagi sangat. Okay, ada lagi tak? Okay, this is one more ni mistake yang selalu. Don't judge a book by its cover. It's kepunyaan dia tak ada apostrophe S. Dia terbalik kalau the boys, ini kepunyaan kan, boys shoes for example, the boys shoes. Okay, tapi untuk it, kepunyaan tu tak ada apostrophe, there's no comma kat atas tu, so it's written like this, its cover. Yeah, alright, so I think that's it. um, Sekejap, banyak lagi kita nak tunjuk tapi tak apa. Okay, so from this, okay, to wrap up, yeah, first thing first, of course, back to the first slide actually tadi ya. Kita pergi ke first slide lah sekejap. Okay, kita pergi ke sini. Alright, back to this again. Yeah. Alright, just to wrap up, yeah. In order for you to write a good story, you have to apply narrative language. And narrative language has a lot of adjectives, adverbs to, to make the story descriptive, yeah, and then cohesive devices for you to respond to. Or here, what I mean is respond is you fulfill the tasks um, to get good marks for the organization, yeah, while by using cohesive devices, kita dah cakap tadi, and then be creative, yeah, creative, jangan stereotypical sangat, sama saja cerita dengan orang lain. Tak perlu cerita tu gah sangat, tapi mungkin cerita biasa yang berlaku dalam rumah, maybe, but something different, okay. And then sentence structure tadi, teacher tak sebut, tapi banyak you tengok ada short sentence, long sentences, even the words sentence like crippled, yang dalam the first essay tu, crippled, only one word sentence. Lepas tu ada yang desert, eagle, master. So one proper name in one sentence. This is a good effect. Yeah? It creates a good effect for the readers. And then direct speech, direct speeches, idiomatic expressions, guna sikit-sikit sana sini. Kalau guna banyak sangat, it doesn't look natural, yeah. And then macam mana nak dapat content penuh, okay. Always look at the bullets tu. Bullets, ada dua bullets, dua main task. Maybe task kat atas tu influence juga, but main task itu dekat bullet, okay. And then model answer, vocabulary ni teacher stress adjectives, actually a lot more, macam verbs tadi bagus-bagus kan. I have more here to show, tapi rasa next time pula kalau ada. Okay, verb yang bagus-bagus like the word growl, when Mr. Iqbal was very angry, okay, there's direct speech here, okay, he growled. This is what we called the accurate meaning of a word that you use, ya. Guna perkataan yang sesuai. Growl. You tak perlu cakap he was very angry all the time. You can use a verb like the word growl here. Okay, so grammar, the simple past. So I think that's it. I hope you gain something at least today, and do your best in your trial. All right, so that's it from me. Thank you. So back to you, Madam Mazita.
So it's 2 hours past already, right? But we don't have that many questions. Sekarang just that one teacher has shared here, Kak Sarina, I think. She said, I guess students can use games they are playing now to write their stories, or basically use their own experience.
Correct.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Okay, talking about that just a little bit here. Actually, my advice, this is what I always tell my students, if they have some particular hobbies, yeah, like hobbies, like for example, they love football. They love football, they play football, they read football magazines, so magazines on football, for example, soccer, yeah. when they love something so much, they learn more effectively, okay, by reading something that they love. For example, watching football, play football. So, in a story, maybe based on the task given, like not ignoring the task given, a student can apply the knowledge that he or she has, from his or her hobbies. For example, this is football. Like I said just now, the writer of the one with Desert Eagle Master, okay, he reads a lot. Okay, he reads magazines like Top Gear. He played a lot of games. Okay, that's why he has that kind of knowledge that enable him to write like that. Okay, so that's it. Like if you love cooking, you know how to describe a dish, right? A dish that you cook. Okay, so that is good. Maybe you can relate that in your writing, yeah, in responding to the tasks given in the questions. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay,
anything
yeah.
else?
And it's always easy to write on something that you're very familiar with rather than
Yeah,
to think of
yeah.
something that
Mm,
you never experienced before. Okay,
mm-mm.
so I think that's it. Rasanya macam
Okay,
tak ada soalan sangat Kak Ran, but it's
okay,
okay.
all right. Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I'm gonna wait for a Q&A session. I don't think so, right? We do need a Q&A question per se, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so that's
So if there is no question, that is from us. So before we end our session today, I would like to thank, of course, Kak Mahiran for being such a good presenter and for sharing with us a lot of things, a lot of information regarding uh, writing in SPM. And of course, we're going to have similar sessions in the future, inshallah. Okay, Kak Ran? We are
okay.
looking forward to it. Okay. All right. And then for everyone who's watching, thank you very much again. And don't forget to subscribe Prihatin TV. We are exclusively owned by Pejabat Pendidikan Daerah Kuala Nerus. And you can always klik lah borang kehadiran peserta yang kita share kat situ tadi. So hopefully this session has benefited everyone who's been watching for the past 2 hours. Okay. So I think that's it. Thank you from all of us. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today,
Yeah.
everyone. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr.
Thank you,
Saidi.
everyone.
Cikgu
Yeah, thank you,
Saidi.
Saidi, for helping
Terima
us
kasih.
today. All right. So, okay, I think that's it. Thank you.
Right. Bye.